After reading the final report into Coco's death in full, which has been extremely distressing and actually a further burden to bear, I am appalled by the level and magnitude of failings from the moment Coco entered Treliske on Tuesday the 25th of July. Our beautiful little girl did not stand a chance. In July last year, Coco was living her best life ever. She was happy and healthy and absolutely loving life. She loved learning, really, really loved learning. She loved the beach, swimming, eating chocolate, listening to music all the time, especially Justin Bieber and Little Mix. She was at mainstream school and we had just secured a groundbreaking education and healthcare plan with funding by the local authority for her ABA therapy. Then Coco became ill, and due to the multiple failings by certain members of staff in this hospital, she died 8 days later, and she never got to live the life she so deserved. Coco was an inspiration to others, a life changer, and she would definitely have grown up to be a world changer. She amazed us every single day. I cannot and will not ever forgive those individuals we hold responsible for Coco's death. They know who they are, and they should be utterly ashamed of themselves. To then later find out they blame Coco, her autism, and for being uncooperative and non-compliant to excuse their own incompetence is unforgivable. For the record, Coco was neither uncooperative or non-compliant. In fact, at one stage, Coco had 13 flags, 5 for clinical dehydration and 8 for clinical shock, and not one was acted upon. And actually, when you consider there is a team dedicated to patients with learning disabilities and or autism that leads with the following statement: we offer support for patients with learning disabilities and autism spectrum conditions. We help make sure individuals with a learning disability in hospital get high quality services, real choice and control over their care. Failed on every point. I am extremely angry regarding the questionable honesty of some clinicians and their failure to recall information, even though it was documented. We questioned their actions constantly, begged for pain relief for Coco, and Chelsea, Coco's sister and a clinical skills tutor who has worked in ICU for over 2 years, questioned them directly by phone. But they treated us with indignance and arrogance and told us they were not worried about Coco and she was fine. But actually, she was dying in front of our eyes. So when faced with a severely dehydrated child with diarrhea and vomiting, you decide not to follow the nice guidance. And when a clinician who agrees a plan for a dying child but then doesn't implement that plan, or transfer to another hospital, and when a paediatric consultant does not recall, couldn't remember, wasn't aware of, and cannot explain the course of actions or procedures, it would seem acceptable to question the suitability of their chosen profession. But that would be for the GMC to decide. The sheer amount of missed opportunities and failings and deficiencies in care are staggering, and I would expect, rather than just learning from Coco's death, certain members of staff will be held accountable for it. Without accountability and any form of prosecution, then Coco's death is effectively just a mistake to learn from, and she deserves more than that. We deserve more than that. Coco's death has had a devastating effect on all of us. She was absolutely the most precious person in our family, and for me she was and continues to be the absolute love of my life. I cannot come to terms with her death, and it has broken me mentally, physically and emotionally. I simply cannot put into words how losing Coco has made me feel. I spent nearly every single day with her for 6.5 years, loving her, caring for her, protecting her and fighting for her. She meant and still means the world to me. People will tell you that time is a healer and it will get better. But I don't believe that is ever possible for me, and I know my family are as devastated now as they were last July. I've also heard grieving parents say they will never see their child go to university or get married. But for me it means I will never get to kiss her little face again, to smell her hair, to watch and listen to her eat brownies and ice cream, and to hear her little giggle, and to snuggle up in bed with her. I will never hear her say I love you ever again. When you take your child into hospital, you have to put your trust into the hands of medical professionals if you yourself are not medically trained. You have to believe they are doing the best for your child. You really don't have a choice. This report is not a full amount of what really happened and what was actually said, as it would be classed as circumstantial or hearsay, but it most definitely confirms our worst fears and concerns from last July. And that is very difficult to live with, especially when you know all that Coco needed was rehydration, a simple course of intravenous fluids. That's it. No miracle drug, no specialist treatment, just intravenous fluids. The failure of treating that initial infection led to Coco contracting sepsis, which is what she actually died of. We would like to thank Darren and the team of Faciamelius for their care and compassion, and more importantly, for exposing the truth of what really happened to Coco and for challenging certain individuals with selective memories. We would also like to thank the staff from ICU in Treliske who miraculously stabilised Coco, for transfer to Bristol and allowed us 2 more precious days with our little girl. We want to thank the watch team and the staff at Bristol Royal Children's Hospital Paediatric Intensive Care Unit who battled in vain to save our beautiful, brave little girl. Finally, we would like to thank Mark Daly, whose dogged determination to get the truth has resulted in the external and independent investigation, and Kate Shields, who is determined to make a difference, and I am so sure she will. I will be forever thankful that I told Coco I loved her at least 10 times every single day, and that the last words I ever heard Coco say on Thursday night, the 27th of July, were, "I love you."